Valentine's Day, the surprisingly wild history of the world's most romantic holiday. Soft romantic music fades in and under. Narrator, warm, curious tone. Every February 14th, the world turns pink and red. Roses flood florist shops, heart-shaped chocolates disappear from shelves, and millions of people whisper or shout, "I love you." But where did Valentine's Day actually come from? Was it always about candlelit dinners and overpriced teddy bears? Spoiler alert, no. Its origins are equal parts romantic, bloody, and downright bizarre. So pull up a chair, maybe grab some chocolate, and let's travel back 2,000 years to uncover the real history of Valentine's Day. Music transitions, subtle, ancient Roman drums. Our story begins in the 3rd century, in the heart of the Roman Empire. The emperor at the time was Claudius II, often called Claudius the Cruel. Rome was almost constantly at war, and Claudius was obsessed with building the biggest, strongest army possible. He noticed something troubling. Single men made better soldiers. They had no wives, no children, nothing to lose. Married men, on the other hand, hesitated on the battlefield. They missed home. They didn't want to die. So Claudius did what any reasonable Roman emperor would do. He banned marriage for young men. Completely outlawed it. Imagine that. No weddings, no engagements. Love itself became illegal. But one priest refused to obey. His name was Valentinus, Valentine in English. Valentine believed love was sacred, a gift from God. In secret, in candlelit rooms and hidden gardens, he continued performing marriage ceremonies for young couples in love. He would whisper the vows, sign the documents, and send the newlyweds off with a blessing and a warning to keep quiet. Eventually, Claudius found out. Valentine was arrested, dragged before the emperor, and ordered executed. Legend says that while awaiting his fate in prison, Valentine befriended the jailer's daughter. Some stories say she was blind. He wrote her letters filled with kindness and faith. On the night before his execution, he sent her one final note, signing it for the first time in history. From your Valentine. On February 14th, around the year 269 or 270 AD, Saint Valentine was beaten with clubs and beheaded. Love, it seemed, had lost. Music swells gently, then fades to birdsong. But the story doesn't end there. Fast forward a couple hundred years. The Roman Empire had become Christian, and the new church wanted to replace popular pagan festivals with Christian ones. In mid-February, ancient Romans celebrated Lupercalia, a wild fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the god of agriculture, and Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome. Young men would run through the streets, whipping women with strips of goat skin. Strangely enough, women lined up to be struck. It was believed to make them fertile. The festival was rowdy, drunken, and very, very naked. Pope Gelasius I wasn't a fan. Around the year 496, he officially ended Lupercalia and declared February 14th the feast day of Saint Valentine instead, cleverly overlaying a story of Christian love and martyrdom on top of a pagan fertility rite. And just like that, the seeds of our modern holiday were planted. Music shifts, medieval lutes jump to the Middle Ages. For centuries, Valentine's Day remained mostly a religious observance. But around the 1300s, something magical happened. Poets got involved. Geoffrey Chaucer, yes, the guy who wrote the Canterbury Tales, wrote a poem in 1382 called Parlement of Fools. In it, he declared that February 14th was the day when every bird chooses its mate. It was the first time Valentine's Day was explicitly linked with romantic love. Whether Chaucer made it up or was reflecting folk belief, we'll never know. But the idea caught fire across Europe. By the 1400s and 1500s, young lovers were exchanging handwritten valentines, little poems or love notes, sometimes folded into the shape of hearts or decorated with lace. In England, people began drawing names in a love lottery on Valentine's Eve. Whoever you picked became your Valentine for the year. Sometimes that led to marriage, sometimes to very awkward situations. Music becomes whimsical. Early industrial sounds. The holiday we recognize today didn't arrive until the Industrial Revolution. In the 1840s, a clever American woman named Esther Howland from Worcester, Massachusetts, saw an ornate British Valentine card and thought, "I could mass-produce these." She set up an assembly line in her home, hired her friends, and started selling beautiful lace-trimmed embossed valentines for $1 each. A fortune back then. She became known as the mother of the American Valentine.